The theme of the conference this year is Embrace the Conflict, which everybody's been asking me, what does that mean? And hopefully you'll find out as we go through. You know, our conference is one of the few pipeline safety conferences I think that happens anywhere where we bring people from all different groups together to try to have a conversation about how we can move pipeline safety forward. And sometimes we talk about issues that everybody doesn't agree on, and I think that's a good thing. I had to embrace the conflict first thing. I got here yesterday and I found out that the hotel gave me the honeymoon suite. Well, that wasn't particularly a conflict other than it's my 34th anniversary while I'm down here and my wife is back at home dealing with stuff. So when I sent her this picture last night, isn't it ironic that they gave me the honeymoon suite on our 34th anniversary? I had to embrace the conflict. Anytime you go to an industry conference or an industry meeting, they always start with a safety minute, which is always interesting. So we wanted to do that too. And here's from a picture from one of our past conferences. You have to really watch out for flying powdered sugar when you're in New Orleans and for the sidewalks being uneven. Just a few thanks. This session, all the sessions in here are being webcast live nationally, so welcome to our national audience that's out there. We usually have 200 to 400 people that chime in and watch during the day. Anybody on the webcast can send us questions. There's the address, questions@pstrust.org. They'll come to our cell phones, and during question and answers we can get those. And we want to really thank PHMSA because they've been a sponsor of this webcast and have paid for it every year since we started this. For the first time, we're actually going to be filming the presentations in the breakout room too. They won't be webcast live, but they will be available on our website after the conference. You can follow us on social media for all those people that like to do social media. And we're on Facebook, and we have a Twitter account, and there's the @PSTrust. And I don't tweet because people say I'm a big enough twit without doing that, but I think all you people that do can figure that out. A lot of it is social not working, I believe. And just really, there are some emergency things to think about. There are exits on the side here or out the door, and if you get out here in the hallway, you can go out either way if something should happen. Bathrooms are over here in the corner, just in the foyer in the corner. The lunch in the reception this evening is going to be in the fleur-de-lis suite, which is right across from where you register at the hotel. There's there's 2 rooms there that we'll be having the lunch in. And the breakout room is just right across from where you registered, so it's very easy. And we're going to do the infamous beignet walk this evening for anybody that wants to join us at 9 o'clock, and that's where we all walk over to the Café du Monde and have beignets and coffee. And it's always interesting to see the president of a pipeline company sitting next to an activist from somewhere and having a social minute, which doesn't happen. And we tested it out last night, and we have a number of firsts at the conference this year. And one of the first was that the PHMSA's relatively new administrator joined a bunch of the public advocates for beignets last night. And none of us are covered with powdered sugar this morning, which is amazing. Here's just who's in the room today. I think everybody has been here before, has heard me talk about the 3-legged stool that the Trust really believes can move pipeline safety forward, with each leg, one representing the pipeline industry, who's ultimately responsible for the safety of pipelines, the other being the regulators who keep an eye on the industry, and then the public and local governments need to be involved just to provide that perspective. And as you see, we've done a pretty good job of spreading who's in the room this year to cover all 3 legs of the stool. And here's where we're from in the United States. We've covered a lot of the different states. I may have missed 1 or 2. And we also have a fairly good contingent from Canada this year. Also want to thank some of the industry sponsors. The Pipeline Safety Trust does not take money from industry because we think that's a conflict of interest, with a couple of exceptions. And one of the exceptions is to help pay the public advocates to come to our conference and to go to important pipeline safety meetings. And these 4 groups, the American Gas Association, Avista Utilities, which is a public natural gas utility out in the Northwest, out near where we are, Enbridge and Marathon Pipelines all help to donate money. So some of you advocates that have come in here because you have concerns about pipelines, your travel actually was covered by these pipeline companies. So embrace that conflict. Just some introductions. There's a whole lot of folks here from PHMSA, and you'll be meeting some of them today. I'm not going to go through it. You're going to meet the administrator in just a minute. The Pipeline Safety Trust board, for the most part, is here, and if the board members would stand up or wave or something, because we really would like, feel free to give them feedback during the next day or two about what you find about the conference or anything about the Pipeline Safety Trust. We're pretty fortunate this year not only to have the PHMSA administrator here, but tomorrow we're going to have a FERC commissioner here. That's a first for the conference. Colette Honorable will be here. We also have a big contingent here this year from the National Energy Board in Canada. We have a couple of board members and some staff members. Lots of interest in what's going on here at this conference and what's been going on with indicators and transparency in the U.S., because I think Canada may soon leapfrog us on some of those issues. I always show this picture because we really try to keep this conference focused on pipeline safety, and I'm going to break that rule almost right off the bat, because there's lots of kind of tangential issues that people want to talk about, and so we try to keep focused on pipeline safety and not start talking about fracking, which certainly is related, or tar sands development, which certainly is related, or a whole host of other things. Although what you'll realize is that where pipeline safety starts and stops is really hard to define where you draw that line. Also, each year at this conference, we kind of unroll our transparency review. Each year we review the transparency of all 50 states' websites, looking at a number of different things about how well the states are doing to share information. We've been pestering PHMSA about this for years, and they've really, in the last 10 years, added huge amounts of information. It's almost to the point of now there's so much information, it's trying to find a way to decipher it. So you see PHMSA still right up at the top of the list, along with a tie between Arkansas and Washington, who's been dueling for that top honor for a few years now. And this is just the top 10 states, so if you don't see your state in the top 10 list, in the newsletter you have there, and it's on our website also, is the whole list, so you can find out where your state lands.